So, as you know, my name is James McCauley. I don't know if you know that. Maybe I'm just James Phoenix Breathwork to you guys. But there we go. I'm going to give you a quick background, the classic story of, oh, I was destroyed and then it wasn't, but it's also very true. Okay. So this webinar masterclass called Why Breathwork Doesn't Stick and How to Guide Change at Last. I'm James McCauley. And importantly, this is me. Look at me. Some of you might recognize this from the church in London where we had the event, but I'll give you a really quick breakdown. Basically, I was very intelligent when I was younger, and once I hit 14, I started drinking a lot. I had multiple injuries. I burst my kidney. I fractured my skull. I tore my knee out. I basically almost died multiple times. As my sister says, it's a miracle you're alive, James. It's a miracle you're alive. When I was 22, I moved to Taiwan, continued drinking, smoking, and teaching kindergarten, and I was also in a rock band. And at a certain point, my voice started to go like this. I went to the surgeon, and they said, "James, you have to have an operation on a polyp in your vocal cords." And so they operated on the polyp, and I wasn't allowed to speak for 3 weeks. But the Taiwanese government, being such a lovely government as they are, they offer you free breath rehabilitation classes. And so I went for 8 weeks to this center for rehabilitation, where they showed me the basics of breathing, and I learned that with a long, deep breath, you can actually relax. This was absolutely transformative for me. I ended up quitting drinking, starting yoga, learning NLP, and this was not an easy process, by the way. It was horrible for certain parts, but over time, I really did transform myself. If I showed you pictures of me when I was 22, you would not believe it. And for the last 10 years or so, I've been traveling around sharing stuff because I really, really, really believe in it and it really works. And I love doing it, I love sharing it, and that's why. So I'm going to talk about breath work, just very brief in. Breath work is when you intentionally use your breath to change your mental, emotional, or physical state. There are two spectrums. There's functional breath work and there's CCB. Functional is breathing through your nose, respiratory efficiency. Conscious connected breath work is the breath work you would experience with me if you're in the church. And it's very different types of breath work. Now, my girls, I'm going to stop the share and I'm going to look at you because I want you to see. I'm going to explain about functional breath work. Now, I can see you all. Functional breath work is essentially what I went through, which is yoga. Yoga is about breathing light, slow, and deep. And this is incredibly important because, not because it calms you in the moment, although that is important, but because you need to, and I say this very clearly, everybody needs to learn to breathe well so that they can increase their CO2 tolerance. Now, not to get too technical with this, and we're going to do a little practice in a second, but you cannot become a calm person or a relaxed person or be resilient under stress unless you know how to breathe calmly, slowly, light, and deep. And this allows you to increase your CO2 tolerance, which means the more CO2 you have in your body, the more oxygen you can extract from your blood. Think of it like this. Oxygen is in all of your blood. It's full of oxygen. Your blood is just like, what am I going to do with all this oxygen? But in order for the oxygen to get from the blood to your system, CO2 is like a taxi that takes it from the blood and puts it into your system. When we overbreathe, which is when we're like, and we're stressed, we expel the CO2 and then we feel more stressed and so we breathe more. And this becomes a vicious cycle. In order to improve your resilience to stress, first of all, you need to know where you are with this CO2 tolerance. Okay? So, what I'm going to show you now is a very basic test for your CO2 tolerance. Okay? It's called a body oxygen level test. How this works. Basically, you're going to measure how long I want to see you all there, how long you can, how long you can resist the urge to breathe. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this. I'll give you a demonstration of what happens. What it is, you breathe in through your nose, you exhale normally, and then what you do is you set a timer to see how long before you feel the urge to breathe. So I'll give you an example. It's an exaggerated ramp. So breathing in, breathing out. So we normally exhale and then go. This is my clock. It's probably reversed, but I'm holding. At a certain point, I'm going to feel the urge to breathe. When I do, I just take a breath in. Okay. What I'd like you to do now, guys, what I wish I knew how to make everyone visible on this. Maybe it's this, but there you go. What I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to ask you to do that. And I explain why that's important. This is going to give you a baseline understanding of how efficiently you breathe. It's going to give you a number. Okay. When you have that number, there are a series of techniques that you can apply over time to improve that number. And as that number increases, you will find, and I'm going to swear again, your life gets fucking better for reasons you can't even understand. You're like sleeping properly, you're calm in situations, people look at you different. It's insane. It's so much more important than all the transformational stuff that we do. But to be clear, you need a benchmark to know where you are. And then over time, you will do a series of techniques that will increase your CO2 tolerance. We call this why breathwork doesn't stick. When we're on functional, it doesn't stick because you can learn a breathwork technique, and I'm going to show you a few that will relax you in the moment, right? You can do a physiological sigh, which is, and you do that a few times, you go, oh, I feel good. I feel relaxed now. But slowly or very quickly afterwards, you'll go back to your baseline level of stress. What you need is a tool that lowers your baseline level of stress over time. And that tool to start with is a test, and over time you increase that. Okay? So guys, if you're ready, and whenever you're doing breathwork with anyone, if you ever become facilitators, you ask them to sit up straight and somehow straight, to allow their shoulders just to drop slowly. Make sure, check your jaws. I carry a lot of stress in my jaw. So roll it out. This isn't breathwork doesn't need to be super serious either. That's some of the problem as well. But just relax yourself. You stack your spine, so you allow your shoulders drop, and sit up as straight as is comfortable for you. Allow your shoulders, your jaw, let your belly hang out. Okay? It works like this. This is in reverso, but keep count for you, and probably you can tell. You're gonna breathe in, breathe out through your nose, and then just count in your head until you feel the urge to breathe. You're not like, it's just until you feel the urge to breathe, and that's your number. Okay? So taking a breath in and exhaling and begin. So just allow your body to relax. Nothing to do. I'll just count for you. That's 10 seconds. It's 15 seconds. It's 20 seconds. 25. 30. If you're going over 30, you're doing great there, guys. 35. 5 more seconds. And okay, if you've hit 40, guys, fair play. You probably don't need this class. Not sure you do. Okay, so we'll just go around for a second. Justine, what'd you get time-wise? You're muted there, my dear.
35.
Boom. Love it. Now, it's important, guys, that when you return to normal breathing, you know when you've pushed it too far if you do this. You should be able to return to your normal breathing, okay? Ivana,
28.
28. Joanna,
24.
24. Karina,
35.
35. My God. And Katarzyna, did you get here on time for this? How long did you do it? 51 or wait a minute, I can't tell.
Wait a minute. I just turning on my mute. I think I did 42, but I'm not too sure.
Okay.
I might be like cheating a bit.
Yeah,
Can
you're
we
all
do that
cheating.
again?
Look, guys, you're all cheating. That's okay. That's natural. We all cheat. One of the things you can do, and I suggest you do this with your family members and your friends, and just to check, it's a fun game. Now, everyone, because this is a subjective measure of it's you're waiting for an urge to breathe, and what we call an urge can vary from person to person. However, another way you can test this, which is more of an objective test, is to stand up, do the same normal, it's a normal breath in and an exhale to where you normally exhale to, and see how many steps you can take. Okay? So without, and you just go as far as you can with that one. See how many steps you can take, and you can go without passing out on the ground. Okay? Later, I'll send you a kind of so you can map on the first test that we do, which is called a bold test, with this other test. It's called a maximum breathless test. Those two things are great. Do it if you have children, whatever you're doing, do it with them. It's fun. Have the kids compete against each other, and you'll also get an idea for where they are. Now, this is very useful, and if you go to a breathwork session or if you're working with anyone who does breath and they do not do this with you, that person is a charlatan and they don't know what they're doing. So be careful. If they talk too much about oxygen, they don't know what they're doing. Just to be clear, any breath worker who knows anything will primarily talk about CO2. So it's the first way you know that they know what they're doing. If you're going to work someone with breath and they're not doing some sort of analysis of your, which is like a biochemical analysis. A biomechanical would be they check your breathing structure. They're charlatans, run. Okay? So you can do the CO2 tolerance, you get your number. The number that you want, minimum, is 25 seconds. Anything above 40 is excellent. Anything below 25, and you can try this again and again, you will present symptoms. And symptoms can be anything ranging from anxiety to headaches to poor digestion. When I started doing yoga, I had asthma, eczema, anxiety. I was a fucking mess. And then a year later, after doing yoga, which is basically extended functional breathing, my eczema went away, my anxiety went away, my allergies went away, I was sleeping properly. Incredible things happen if you're consistent with breath work, and that can be 5 minutes a day. Okay, now I'm going to show you my favorite tool that if I was going to, what I suggest when I did more private clients, this is the first thing I would give to them. And I call it the minimal viable dose. A minimal viable dose is the minimum thing that you can give somebody to do that they'll actually do. And why will they do it? Because it's so small that when they tell you they didn't have time to do it, you say, that's bullshit. It's 2 minutes. Everybody has 2 minutes. And then they go, oh, okay, what I forgot or whatever. Okay. However, with 2 or 3 minutes of breath work a day, you can over time make improvements. And I'm going to show you specifically how you do that right now. Okay. So I'll share the screen, which I never remember where it is. Okay. So we're still on the functional element, right? When I say why breathwork doesn't stick, I mean, most cases, people are not training you to improve your CO2 tolerance. What is this thing here? I'll get rid of that. Okay. They're not training you to improve your CO2 tolerance. They're just using a tool for you to relax, right? Which is great. It's good to have tools, and I stand by that. But you should be working on improving your respiratory efficiency. I'll learn how to use these one of these. And so again, here, breath shapes your daily stress response. Functional breath builds calm, balance, and adaptability. And the key is this CO2 tolerance. What happens when you hold your breath? Your body continues to produce CO2 and it rises up. The more CO2 you can tolerate in your body, the more you're able to extract oxygen and the more resilient you are. So here we are again, the quick science. CO2 triggers the breathing. Low CO2, stress, anxiety, and poor focus. High tolerance is calm, energy, and resilience. And we measure it with the test we just did. Now, if any of you have children and those children look stressed or anxious or have poor focus, right? You can be sure their breathing is awful. And that's a loop. It's an anxiety loop. It's a distraction loop. It's a misconnection to their body. which causes this breathing. This breathing causes this anxiety. The easiest intervention you can make with your child, your spouse, your lover, or the bin man or the postman is to intervene with the breath work, is to calm them down and to over time build their CO2 tolerance. That is more important than all the emotional outbreak breath work that I've ever done in my life. And it's very important as well. But if I had to choose one, I would stick with this. I'm now going to show you the tool. You personalize box breath. Most of you will have probably at least heard of box breathing, if not practiced it. I want you to look at this bold score here. So we had less than 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, or 30 seconds, okay? This is a box breath recommendation. If you're under 10, it's threes. If you're 10 to 20, fours. If you're 20 to 30, it's fives. 30 seconds or more, it's six or longer. I'm now going to stop this share so I can look at y'all again for a second. So, box breathing is the most useful of the functional breath work. Why? A few different reasons. I'm going to talk you through it in a second. Box breathing is essentially like this. I'll demonstrate. You've got 4 seconds. So you breathe in for 4. You hold for 4 at the top. You exhale for 4. And you hold for 4 at the bottom. There's a few things that are happening which are very important in terms of functional breathing. Number one, as you breathe in and you breathe out, especially as you elongate, you're going to naturally notice that your inhales are maybe less smooth than your exhales, right? And it's important that the breath in is as smooth as the breath out. Secondly, there's a pause at the bottom and a pause at the top. This mimics healthy breathing. Healthy breathing should be breathing in, and at the top, there's a slight pause, and then exhaling, and there's a slight pause. So you're training your nervous system to remember to do that pause. Okay? Question people often ask me is, what's the difference between a breath hold at the top and a breath hold at the bottom? When we breathe in, that's sympathetic. It's an energizing breath. And when we breathe out, that's parasympathetic, which means it's relaxing. So when you breathe in, I call it like the warrior breath and the monk breath. So if you do like a Wim Hof, and then you breathe out, that's warrior breath. If you exhale it all and do a breath hold there, it's much calmer, deeper, and relaxing, and it's parasympathetic. Okay, so we're gonna go give you your first breath work. Okay, let's see. Karina, so I'll explain. So if you got if you want to do 5 seconds up, hold for 5, 5 seconds down, and hold for 5. I'm just gonna go around and ask people, not because we're competing on breathwork, just so I understand where we are. I want you to pick a number based on your results that you think is just about what you could manage comfortably. That can be 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds. It's okay. You're going to need to have a watch or some sort of counter in front of you just so you can, or your phone going. If not, you can count it, but it's nice to have that reference point. And all you're going to be doing is breathing in slowly and smoothly for the amount of time you have, holding at the top, releasing for the amount of time, holding at the bottom. So it'll be like, we'll start with the breath in, then you hold. Okay, so Karina, how long are you going for?
This is the box breath, yeah?
Yeah.
Um, what's an average?
No, yeah, you tell me a number.
Probably like seconds, is it?
Jesus, Karina. Yes, 6, it's not minutes. 6 seconds, Karina. Do 6. Ivana?
Me 5.
5. Katarzyna, sorry.
You can call me Kasia. It's easier. 4. I think it's manageable enough for me.
Okay, Justina or Justine?
I'll try 5.
5. Joanna?
Yeah, 5.
Okay, Andrea?
There is a counter. There's an IBF website, the International Breathwork Foundation, and they have you can do it'll just do it for you.
Yeah.
You can set it to whatever 5555, and it'll count you in.
What you don't want is to be too distracted by the visual thing, to be honest. Like it's important that this is an internal feeling of your body. And as soon as you're looking at something, and this is why I don't like a lot of the breathwork apps, as soon as you're watching this thing, you're distracted a little bit. You can do that. It's also totally fine. Okay. Andrea, time?
Gonna go for 6.
Oh, no, that's it. And Jenny, if she's there, I think she's walking. All right, guys. So you understand what it is? We're going to all start with, I'm going to just want to time you here and do it for 2 minutes. And you can breathe in for your allotted time. You're going to hold at the top, breathe out, and hold the bottom. Again, as a breath worker, really simple cueing. There's no need to push, there's no need to stress. It's just an opportunity to feel into your body. And when you really tune into your body and you're breathing, you're going to notice some things. And we're going to share a little bit about what we noticed. Okay? So if you want to close your eyes, again, always ask just to allow your shoulders to relax, allow your belly to hang out, let your juice, you can stack your spine. And whenever you're ready, guys, you can start. So you can start breathing in the amount of time. We're just gonna keep it quiet as you go, counting. When you hold at the top and just follow your own time, okay, for 2 minutes. I'll do it as well. Just got 15 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you can slowly bring awareness to your body. Just open your eyes, take a moment to orientate. Okay, I'm just going to ask a couple of people their experience. Joanna, anything you noticed?
I just feel myself like I'm doing the box in the middle of my mind, and yeah, I feel good. 5 hits great for me.
Yeah.
I
Did
think
you
that's my.
notice anything about your breathing that your exhale was different than your inhale or anything
Uh,
towards the
in
top?
inhale was I think was easier, then the hold was a bit, yeah, but still manageable, and the exhale was like a bit harder, but yeah, inhale was
Good.
the
So what
best.
you're doing there is you're actually training your diaphragm to do that smoothly, and we don't do that. So a lot of people are really good at the inhale, and then they either do this, oh shit, I've got no air left, I've gone too fast. Is that what you did? Did you go too
And
fast?
not really. I try to hold my breath like for counting till 5 when
Yeah,
I just exhale. But it was like I feel like I want to just like put it out straight away.
yeah.
But I have to.
Classic. And that's essentially hyperventilation, which is the way our body reacts to what we feel as a lack of oxygen. It's actually a lack of CO2. And during these processes, you're training yourself to not do that. To go, oh, get it all out, get more back in. Oh, I want to get it all out so I can get more back in. And that's like a kind of exaggerated version of what I see all the time, to be honest. I mean, I work with people, I watch this, I go, oh my God, I can't believe I used
So I'm not. Yeah, I'm not alone.
No, fuck no, God. I'm training. I have a lot of people on my own. I take on 12 people on my online course. And one of the things I warn them about is, guys, it's kind of like you get this superpower where you become very aware of everybody's breathing. But that awareness comes with it. With every power comes great responsibility. It's like just the sheer, oh my God, look at this. People go, but they're not aware of it. So you're not alone at all, Joanna. It's like chronic, and awareness. Being on this class, awareness is the first step. Andrea, any feedback on that?
Yeah, fairly even on the breathing in and the holding and the breathing out. But the holding after breathing out was less comfortable than the rest of it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Yeah,
also because you've got
exactly.
less air in your tank, and that's actually what if you're training breath holds for like anxiety and for different reasons, you'll usually do that on an exhale, and so it's just more difficult. And that's where we train them normally. Unless you're a free diver, someone who wants to max out how much they can hold their breath, then they tend to train it on the hold in. But it's also about becoming comfortable in that discomfort. There's a like you'll learn that you're not holding it like there's a way of just being with it and not being tense about it that makes it the monk breath. And you'll find and because now we're on a class and you're sitting there listening to my voice going on, but you'll find over time that you'll find great calmness in that space once it's almost like an ice bath. I don't know how much of experience you have, but there's almost like it's hard to explain this, but you drop into it. And when you
Mhm.
drop into it, you go, ah, it's nice here. Okay. So now what I would like to do, guys, is 2 minutes a day, do that. If you do nothing else, just sit for 2 minutes every day. Yeah, this is my 2 minutes. You can put on a song that you like, you know. You can do it with some sort of even 3 minute song and say, look, the minimum I can do for myself now is to sit and do some work with my breath. Okay. The length of a song is perfectly fine for that, and you'll get a lot out of it. Okay. And every week. The way you test your CO2 tolerance, guys, is you do it in the morning when you first wake up. Um, every morning when you wake up is the best time to check that for a variety of different reasons. But do the CO2 tolerance test if you want to do it every morning for 3 days and take your average and say that's my average. Okay. Then do the box breathing once a day or twice a day, whatever you want, but just say once a day for yourself. You'll find it centers you. You find you'll come out and go, huh, it's very centering. If your mind is scattered and things are happening. And over time, guys, you will find that your CO2 tolerance will go up and you will notice that you feel better straight away. That's the most important thing. So what you have there's a baseline with the CO2 tolerance test, and you have an adapted breathwork process that grounds you, centers you, makes you aware of your body, and it also gives you something to move towards because maybe every week you go, hey, I'll try 6. And you might stay at 6 for 2 weeks, and then you try 7. And it's very interesting. Okay? So that's the first thing that I want to share with you is the CO2 tolerance test and the box breathing. Now we're moving on to something interesting. So sit up straight again. I'm going to give you a little visualization, guys. Okay, really simple visualization. Okay, so we're all going to take a deep breath in through our nose, take a sip at the top, and then just exhale it all together. Okay, so again, it's the work. I'll show you once how it works. It's like this, and at the very top, you take an extra one, and then you. We'll do that 3 times together, okay? So taking a deep breath in through your nose, a sip at the top, and just exhaling through your mouth. Feeling your body sink or relax. 2 more times, breathe in. And last time, breathing in. Sip at the top and let it go. And as you exhale, you can just allow your eyes to close and just take a moment to feel your body in this space. Now, with your eyes closed, you can feel your body pressed against your chair, perhaps your feet against the floor. Feel the weight of your shoulders. And I wonder if you can find the part of your body that feels most comfortable. So you can just scan. Imagine a light scanning from the tip of your head down over your face, over your nose, your mouth. And all we're looking for down over your shoulders is just for you to find which part of your body feels most comfortable. It can be your shoulders, your legs, your forehead, whatever it is. Just notice and find that body part. Whichever part of your body for you in this moment feels most comfortable, I want you to imagine a light in this place. This light can be any color, can be glowing brightly or softly, it doesn't really matter. Your unconscious mind knows what color to choose. And I want you to focus on this color and this sensation in your body. And I wonder if you can just allow this color and this sensation to spread slowly through your body. You can allow it to move slowly or quickly, the colors can change. Just allow yourself to feel and see this color spreading through your body. You can imagine it, if you like, entering into the cells in your body, and you can see and feel these cells just loosening, lightening, and softening. And just allow yourself to enjoy the sensation wherever this light decides to move, and feel the sensations in your body as you relax and as you listen to my voice, and as you feel more and more comfortable. And eventually, you may notice that your entire body is glowing, and it's just even slightly more relaxed than it was at the beginning. And in the moment, you can choose, if you like, to intensify the light, make it brighter, shining. Perhaps you can even imagine this light shining out through your body and spreading to the room around you. If you'd like to think of someone you love at this moment, that's perfectly fine. And you can send some of this light to that person if you like, or you can keep it for yourself. That's also fine. Maybe you need it more right now. Okay. In a moment, we're going to take one of the breaths we took previously. And as you do, you can just set any intention you want. You can say something nice to yourself, something nice to other people, whatever you want to say that you feel in this moment, say it to yourself quietly. And we'll take a deep breath into our nose, sip at the top, and then just let it go. And just being aware of your body again. If you like, I like to do, is sway a little bit. I like to move my head, notice how my body feels in that moment, stretch, and it's all good. Now, I'm going to ask Karina, how did you find that?
Yeah, that was good. I like that.
Oh, great. Okay, Justine, how did you find that?
Yeah, very nice and grounding and just
Easy, right? Okay, I'm going to explain the second part of this, which is about language. Now, language is very interesting. I used to work as a hypnotist, and language is obviously a key part of that. And language, whether you're working in therapy, whether you're working as a breath worker, whether you're working with your children, is very, very important. And so, I'll show you here. Somatic cueing, right? So if you're working with people, their bodies respond, the words you use shape the way the bodies respond to the breath work, right? If you use the right language, you build safety, trust, and depth. And we were just talking with Ivana there about that, even with massage, as a masseuse rather, your main aim is to make people feel safe. Good language is going to soften the nervous system. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what good language is. When I say good, I mean useful language, right? So essentially, the nervous system is scanning for safety or threat. You've probably seen that before. Polyvagal theory, if you have not looked into it, is fascinating. Language activates the social engagement system, and the way you use certain language reduces resistance. And so, for example, in the beginning of this breath work, of this visualization, I don't say, just try to relax, right? I say, and if you like, it's always giving people options, options and agency. If you'd like, you can allow your shoulders to drop, or perhaps you want to relax from your feet, right? Again, you're giving them options, soft. You're not saying it has to be like that. A nice one is this. I say, here's a good one as well. Which part of your body feels most comfortable? There's a presupposition in there that there is a part of your body that feels comfortable, right? I'm not, and I even add an extra layer of non-invasiveness, which is, I wonder, I'm wondering, I'm thinking to myself about which part of your body feels most comfortable and change the tone. People will automatically do a check and they'll find a part of their body. That part of their body could actually feel less terrible, but you framed it as feeling most comfortable and you're not forcing that on them. And then you give them options. Now you can let that grow quickly or slowly. You can use a color, maybe you prefer sounds. You can imagine anything. Give them agency over that because nobody wants to be forced into anything. And all the language that in breathwork, at least that you're using, is always about options, permission, and safety, giving them a sense of agency. So a double bind, if you have kids, if I wanted, I used to be a kindergarten teacher, and whenever I wanted the kids to clean up, I tried saying clean up, and instead I'd be like, hey guys, you got two options. You can clean up using this blue mop, or no, you're not ready. You're not ready. You go, we are ready. We are ready. You can use the red bucket and the red mop, right? All of it ends up them cleaning the room, but you've given them the illusion of choice. And if, for example, our goal in whatever it is, perhaps it's to activate the system, perhaps it's to relax, perhaps it's to let go. You give people different avenues, which all lead, hey, it looks like the Phoenix, all lead to the same result, right? And you can allow yourself to relax, allow yourself, let yourself. I'm not saying you have to allow yourself or let yourself using a word that you find important to you, and you can vocalize that word and let it ripple through you. Or perhaps if you're more visual, you'd like to use a visual anchor that's important to you and you can imagine that, or any other choice that you like. And people go, all right, this weirdo with his Phoenix Breathwork thing, he's not telling me to do anything. He's allowing me to make my own choices. Now, people will ask, particularly with hypnosis, with NLP, but isn't that manipulative? And you have to look at the definition of manipulation for that. And that's when you're doing something that somebody doesn't know, which is going to harm them. Invariably, if you're a hypnotist or NLP or breathwork, we're all doing stuff to people. But if our main goal is for them to feel better, it's implicit in the fact that they came to this, that they know that's happening, and we do that anyway. Okay, I'm going to run at the end of this. I'm going to send you a really good sheet as well. But just for example, in a breathwork session, and by the way, a lot of breathwork, if people start shouting at you in your breathwork session, again, don't stay. So these are just some phrases that I use, right? Only if it feels right for you. You can come back at any time. There's no right or wrong. You're fully in control and you can allow yourself to go a little deeper, or you just notice what's alive in you right now. What happened? Like curiosity inspired is a really good one. Courageous curiosity. What happens if you let go? I mean, just a little more. Well, something new might emerge, right? Or let your body guide the way. All of these phrases are agency, permission, options, choice, and just guiding. You connect with the person and you say, hey, how about this? It's called pacing and leading. Okay. Now, uh, this is fascinating, guys, by the way. Okay. This is a little bit advanced, but I thought I might show it to you. So there are five nervous system states. You have all of these are responses to danger. Fight, we know of usually. Flight, freeze, fawn, and flow. Okay? Any of you who are from Ireland, we're all fawners. Any of you who are from, different people have different reactions. But depending on their nervous system state, a breath worker would adapt. You'll say, okay, for example, someone who's caught in a fight state will have tense jaws, fist will be clencing, chest will be forward like this. They'll have an aggressive, forceful breath through their nose. They'll be frustrated. They'll be really sharp sometimes. They'll be angry. And what you do in that response is you slow your tone, you offer grounding, and you remove external pressures, right? In sentences, let's give this part of you space without needing to change it. This is, yeah, Andrea, what you got for me?
Please, will you share that slide with us afterwards?
I will.
Thank you very much, because I've not heard of flow before as a nervous system thing.
No, it's not because it doesn't exist because everyone's so screwed. I mean, I'm in flow. My nervous system state when I'm running breathworks is flow. Your state when you're lost in, whatever the thing is for you that you feel you lose track of time, that's flow. And most people don't have that in their lives. And most people or their nervous systems are so incredibly that they can never find that. And
It's
so
been a while since I had flow then.
huh? Say again?
It's been a while since I had the flow state.
Yeah, well, look, that's a real thing. But it's important to understand these actually, that these are our responses. Fight, obviously, we mobilize energy. We're mobilizing to perception of threat. Flight, we're running away. We're mobilizing energy to get away from it. Freeze is also called a dorsal step, where we just freeze. That's a very primal, a more primal response. We have the fawn response, which is okay, everything okay, in a way pleasing. And each one in a breathwork session, at least, you need to know how to adapt what you do. Now, a lot of that is intuitive. A lot of it is intuitive. You do that naturally, people. You change your positioning, you move in different ways, but it's a nice framework to understand that. So, and this is my online course. They all print this out, and the people who are on my cohort, and most of them have it in their breathwork studios or somewhere as a little cheat sheet for them, because it just makes what you intuitively pick up on explicit. So you know, and you're like, yeah, but he had this, and you go, okay. And then I'll say, okay, well, what was his posture? What was his breathing like? What was he talking about? And so, for example, let's take flight here, for example. If someone comes into my breathwork and I'm going to do a transformational breathwork, and I notice they've got fidgeting, they're moving around a lot, their eyes are like this, they'll usually have a kind of a fast, shallow, and inconsistent breathing. They'll be anxious, they want to escape or get restless, right? I will say to them, "Hi, how are you?" I'll make a joke. I know what's going to happen. I say, "Look, during this breathwork session, you possibly and almost certainly will want to leave. You're going to suddenly realize that you need to go to the toilet. You're also going to suddenly realize, and I'm not saying it's not true, that this Irishman is an idiot. You know, all sorts of reasons are going to float into your mind about why this isn't for you and how these things are for this and this and this. All I'm asking you to do at that point is return to your body, feel and connect. So here we go. Like the answer is, you don't need to go anywhere. The breath is with you right now, right? You normalize discomfort, you orientate a space, and you encourage slowness. To say, and I would say something like this. It's quite normal that during this breath work, you're going to feel a little bit of discomfort, but I suppose that's why we're here. And if you do, you can always just come back to your body, orientate your space around you, have a look around. There's no need to run, just coming back to your body and feel the space around you. That person then thinks you're psychic because at the middle, like they'll come back afterwards and be like, I did want to go to the toilet. I did want to do this. He knows everything. But the reality is, you're just reading the cues of the nervous system state, which we're all very good at doing. We just don't have a language, an explicit language, or a structure to understand that. And these are very important, particularly for freeze states. And this is more when we're doing transformational. Freeze states, you're going to have people who are sexually abused. That's a very common one. And you see them sort of disorientated. They look around, they're very like that. And you need to be careful with touch and really draw them back into their bodies. And the fawning stuff is also very interesting because these people don't really realize how much of a problem it is for them. And then the flow state, when you get maybe about 3 or 4, let's say about 5% of flow staters in my breath work, and you're just like, let them go. Great stuff. Keep going. They're rolling around, they're screaming, they're having orgasms. They're like, ah, ah. You're like, love it. Great you're here. Okay. Just to bear those things in mind, guys. I will send you on this states as well to you. It's just I haven't seen it anywhere else because I made it. It took me time. But these things, if you just look at the topics, right? The posture that you're looking at, the way they're breathing, the type of energy, things that might come up in a session, how you respond as a facilitator, and a sample language guide makes this webinar worth it, probably, for even in that. But just to be aware that those are things. And could I ask, guys, which do you think you are primarily? Like we swap between states, but if you had to say I am, well, Andrea, what would you have to say? I'm a
Look,
fawner, by the way, just to be
right
clear.
in between fawn and freeze at the moment. I've
Yeah.
got two.
Okay. Yeah. Ivana?
Yeah, I think the same.
Yeah. Justine?
Yeah, I'm Irish. Fawn. Yeah.
All right. Karina?
I'm not really, because I can't see what the fawn is completely and utterly, but I'd say maybe with me, fight, flight, and sometimes flow.
All right. So fawning is essentially where you're smiling, you're overly agreeable, you're always saying, I'm fine. You're
Oh,
more.
yeah, that'd be me.
Yeah. So you're Irish as well, Karina. Where are you from, Karina?
uh, uh, Galway.
Yeah, look, by default, you're at least 50% fawning if you're from Ireland. Joanna?
I think I'm fun. Yeah, I'm Polish, so fun as well.
Fawn
Yeah,
as well. And I'm going to say Katarzyna, I'm going to struggle.
Kasia.
What about you?
Mostly I'm at flow state because I'm easily lose time. I can be lost in time, and but at some situations I'm at freeze state, and you can see on my face straight away, so I can't show you something different. So sometimes it's a fight,
Yeah.
It
Yeah, so
depends
we
on the
shift.
situation. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
Bit of
shift,
shift.
I
everything.
shift between, yeah.
Yeah, and also in a breathwork session, guys, people will come in and they'll come in a certain state and that will shift, that state will shift
Mm,
through it and come back again at different
yeah.
stages.
Depends what
So
triggers you, yeah.
depending on triggers in the process. And again, this is not like a hard and fast rule. It's just as a kind of a structure for you to understand it. In most cases, with therapy and with all these kind of interventions, you're relying largely on your intuition, your experience, and your underlying knowledge to automatically take over. You don't want to be sitting there when someone's in like a freeze state and thinking of this thing in your head here, or what was the reaction there? Inevitably, you should trust your body, but you will have this as a reference point. And it's really, 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 I find it really interesting. And people are relieved oftentimes when you help them identify their state because they just have more information. It's like, hey, I think this is your defense mechanism. It's very normal. This might be your principal one. And here are some things that you can do with that. Here's what I recommend the type of breath work to use. Okay. Now, another thing, tool number 3. So number 1 is just the functional breathing, light, slow, and deep. Do the box breathing. You have your CO2 tolerance. You have your box breath. The language bit is both for if you're working as some sort of therapist or intervention, and also for yourself. Remember when you're lying in bed, fucking killing yourself about some shit you said to somebody or whatever it is you're doing, you can just be nice to yourself and say, I'm just going to allow myself to relax now. Just even that, using permissive language with yourself. I'm going to let myself just be good right now. Not affirming like, I'm the best in the world, I'm the best in the world. So just to say to yourself, I think I'm due a nice little moment of just, let's just go with that. Okay, so just be aware of your own inner language. Now, if you've gone to a breathwork session or an intensive session or anything you're doing that's quite intense, whether it's therapy, even generally I'm more on the breathwork side of things, but things that are an intense breakthrough or something where it's an emotionally charged thing, I like to run a specific integration, which is the third part of this talk. Obviously, why we do this, emotions have to be completed. You have to finish the cycle. What we call trauma, in many cases, is where an emotional loop didn't get to finish and it got stuck on that. And people are triggered because it reminds them of a situation that didn't follow through. A breath work, oftentimes, is the completion, like when I say conscious connected, is the completion of that cycle for people. They finally manage to drop into their body to feel and to release. And then they go back to that same thing that was traumatizing for them, and it just looks like an event and not like the traumatizing event that it was. Okay? Now, we like to integrate, which involves the vagus nerve and it prevents overwhelm. The key in this is movement, sound, and some sort of grounding. Okay? And I'm going to show you here. This is my personal structure. I obviously adapt this depending on what's happening. But after I do an intense breath work, there are 4 steps that I train my guys to work in, right? Grounding the body, which just involves bringing awareness back to the body. I always add some sort of movement, which is gentle rocking or swaying or rocking. All of these things have roots in evolution and all these different areas, but rocking, shaking, swaying are all parasympathetic. It's all the things that your mother, father did for you, the things we did as a child. Some sort of sound, which allows to ground and to release, and then an affirmation or visualization to anchor the shift, right? So we're going to do a little round of Wim Hof, which I'm going to show you now. I'll open this up so I can see everybody. Everybody! And they can never see everybody. By now, I see enough. So I'm going to talk you through Wim Hof, and then I'm going to do the integration for you. Okay? Watch me as I stand up and stick my belly out for you. Okay. So This is my belly. What we're doing, guys, you want to place one hand on your stomach, one hand on your chest. And what you're doing is you're breathing through your mouth, stomach, chest, and release. All you have to do is stick your belly out as you breathe in. And we're just going to do that 30 times together. You don't need to overthink it. It doesn't need to be fancy. You're breathing in through your mouth and just let it go like that. Okay? And we're going to do that for 30 rounds. And at the end of it, you're just going to exhale and I'm going to talk you through and so you can experience this integration. Okay? So if you're ready, I'm going to breathe in, set straight up, whatever you want, rock your head around, maybe loosen yourself up a little bit, whatever works for you. And here we go. Okay, so 30 breaths, stomach, chest. Let it go. It's an active inhale. And just find your own rhythm. And belly comes out. You might feel your heart to accelerate. Tingling. And we're just going to do 10 more. Five more. Three more. Last one in. And just release. And we'll just take 30 seconds where you can scan through your body. Moving from your feet up through your legs, noticing your knees, any sensations in your hips. You scan over your stomach, noticing your chest, maybe your heart is beating. Feel your hands, shoulders, moving up through your head. You can just imagine, guys, very simply, that your feet are anchored to the floor. Just imagine, if you like, some roots or whatever object you like coming from your feet and sinking deep into ground. And as you see and feel these roots stabilizing you, you may notice that you're sitting a little straighter, feeling a little more robust, a little bit more centered. Whenever you're ready, guys, with this sense of stability, you can slowly start to rock your body in whatever way feels comfortable. You can roll your head, your shoulders, your body. You can make little circles. And we're going to take a deep breath in together, guys, and you can make whatever noise comes out. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Just make some sort of, like me, a sigh, a cough, a scream, a woof. So take a deep breath in. And keep rocking and just exhale. Right down to the end. We go again. You can wobble your face one more time to change your noise. And now in your mind, in this stage, whatever, just ask your body, is there any sentence, a word that seems important or interesting to it right now that it would like to express to you? Just take a moment to feel into your body. And whatever the first word or sentence is, just say that to yourself quietly in this moment, feeling steady, relaxed, and energized, all at the same time. Okay, now you can slowly open your eyes again, guys. Just take a moment to orientate to the space around you. Yeah. Rah, rah. We'll just ask, Justine, how did you feel about that? Did you notice anything?
Yeah, I felt a little lightheaded after the 30 breaths, and then the integration just calmed it all back down again, and I just felt steady and relaxed. And yeah, I'm actually feeling a bit even energized now.
Yeah, exactly. And so and thanks for that. And if you can imagine a transformative breathwork session is just 40 minutes of that, you can
Yeah.
imagine how much the body needs that process, how much it needs grounding. That's simply bringing awareness to the space around you, to the weight of the body, giving them the opportunity to move their body in whatever way feels natural. Again, it's not performative. It's not like, all right, everybody, we're gonna roll around like that, whatever comes, right? And you sound, a lot of people struggle with sound. You normalize that with sighing, releasing, and then anchoring it is just whatever way you want to anchor that so that there's some frontal cortex coming back into that. When I say frontal cortex, I mean some element of language or visualization so that you're activating again that frontal cortex. Say, hey, you're essentially saying, hey, bro, we're gonna need you again shortly. So would you come back and ground this for me? Okay. So I really do recommend that style of process, and you can do it whenever you like. So I'm gonna recap here, guys. Oh, sorry, let's ask someone else there. Who we asked now? I can't see who's there. Ivana, how'd you find that?
Yeah, the time is amazing. It's just a wake-up call.
All right, guys. So of these things that I've been talking about, now functional breathwork is on this side of the spectrum, right? It's the respiratory efficiency. The conscious connected breath that most people know me for, if they do know me, is the big explosive breathing and screaming. The somatic cueing and the integration set are more for the conscious connected part, and the functional breathwork is more the box breathing. However, they do overlap. So you can always use movement and sighing and grounding with any sort of breath work you're doing for yourself or for anybody else. And you can always use this type of language, which is very natural. It's just giving options. Say, hey, be curious, go and explore your own body. And if you need me, I'm here. I will be sending you guys a toolkit, and I'll promise to include this because I actually just added this thing today because I realized it was great. I thought you might like it. Now, I will send this to you. It includes the 4 integrations, somatic cueing, bolt test, and I'll add the 5 states to it. Okay. And then you go boom, boom. I'm running trainings in London and Dublin. I love them. There's an in-person training in September, and I do a really fucking good online course. I love it. It's really good. I'm really proud of of all the things I've done. I think that's when I say I've done, but all the things I'm involved in. That's the one that's really amazing because the ripple effect. If you do the online course, you take a practice client for over 8 weeks and you follow a nervous system state where you train them in interoception, self-regulation, emotional fluidity, and then environmental design. And I like it because it's much more coherent and you're working with a client that you learn how to do that. It's amazing. We've got a training in Dublin and London in September. And if you want, I will send an email. If you want to book a call or discuss any of those things, book a call. I'll be here in Italy for another week, burning myself and eating mozzarella. But yeah, does anyone have any questions, guys, or anything you'd like to add or say or thoughts about the process in general?
I'm booked into the September in Dublin. Looking forward to it.
Ah, yeah, you're gonna love it. We might be one thing we might be shifting the hotel because I might move it to North Dublin, but I'll let you know.
Fine.
It's all in Dublin anyway. It's all just to let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've how many trainings I've done in Ireland? I think I've done 5 now.
Yeah, yeah.
Crazy.
So are you transformational breath?
Look, so I will explain this.
Yeah.
There is, as I say, there's functional breath and there's conscious connected breath work.
Yeah.
Underneath the conscious connected breathwork is a variety of different schools. Transformational is kind of like conscious connected breath with NLP and shorter and more targeted. Rebirthing has a different type of a philosophy behind that.
Yeah.
Mine is somewhere in between rebirthing and transformational because I add a lot of elements from both.
Yeah.
Because I actually don't target so much as like transformational would. Like if you do 90 breathwork, this journey is all about fear. today you will conquer your fear. I have more trust in the wisdom of the body and the things that are there to come out. But
Well,
I
these are really useful. Really, the stuff that you've given, the wording and the messaging is really, really useful.
Yeah,
Really good.
thanks. It is really
Yeah.
useful. I built the stuff that doesn't need, for me, it was for me. I like did all these trainings, like, the fuck, these trainings are terrible. Why don't they tell me what to say? Why don't they explain to me what the people are doing? I'm just saying, breathe, breathe, breathe.
Mm.
But I'm
Well,
lucky.
some trainings do, but this is great. This is great.
Yeah,
I
yeah, the one,
really
yeah,
like
thank
the
you
whole
very
thing
much.
about the grounding.
The grounding, yeah. It was mine was NLP was my beginning, so
Yeah.
right. Thank you. I'm
Really.
looking forward to it. See. Anyone else have anything they want to add or any thoughts, guys?
That was very good.
Very good. You enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
amazing. The last breathing that we did there worked so quick.
Yeah. So I'll explain one thing, guys. In very importantly, you have a spectrum of breathwork, which is functional breathwork. It's breathing through your nose, light, slow, and deep. Okay, that's about improving respiratory efficiency and performance and increasing your tolerance to stress, making you more resilient. Okay, on the other end of that, you have conscious connected breathwork, which is breathing through your mouth, hyperventilation. The aim of that is essentially to access trapped emotions, altered states of consciousness, insights, all this kind of more esoteric things. And both of them work on the principles of CO2. Functional breathwork is about increasing CO2 to allow you to breathe more efficiently. Conscious connected breathwork is like the opposite way of breathing. It's like if you breathe like this all the time, you die, right? But it's a way of lowering your CO2 and changing your brain chemistry. So transient hyperfrontality and a bunch of things happen. This is more important in the beginning. Without this, if your client does not have functional breathing, this is not nearly as effective. They're going to have tetany. They're going to be stressed. So the functional breathing and the language and the somatic cues is about making them feel safe in their body.
Yeah.
Once someone
Nobody
feels
said that
safe
to
in
me
the
before.
body, sorry?
Nobody has said that because I'm a breathwork facilitator, but nobody has kind of suggested that I should go the functional route first, and that's really, really useful.
Oh my God. But you'll see it. So there's two things happening if you'll have had in your sessions, right?
Yeah, I've had technique and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, tetany. So tetany, right? There's two different ways of explaining tetany. There's a few different ways, but one is that first of all, it's absolutely they have low levels of CO2 tolerance because I will always take my clients when I have private sessions, I will work them up to a minimum level of CO2 tolerance so that they can actually get something out of it. And say, why are I like this?
Yeah.
The other interpretation of that is that like because you do this, it's an emotional protection that we're all curling up inside of ourselves. However, and this is why I suppose Phoenix breathwork is different, is that like I don't separate those two things.
Yeah.
It's a loop there. You're all repressed and you're stressed and your CO2 is low. And you can intervene in different ways. For me, the most effective is always the breath because you can give someone a set of things like 2 minutes every day over time, and they're going to come back to you and they're going to say, oh my God, I slept properly. My husband noticed that the black things are gone under my eyes. I've only shouted at my kids 7 times today. You know? I forgot what it was. So the CCB, conscious connect breathwork, and the functional breathwork. Now, in both of these things, guys, your responsibility is, I think about it like this, you're donating your nervous system to somebody when you're working with them. How successfully you donate your nervous system will be dependent on a few different factors, but your language, your presence, and your fucking authenticity are going to do a lot of that. If you're real and you're with them and you genuinely care and you're trying to help them and you are even slightly more artful with your language than the average person, they're going to feel great. They're just going to feel like, okay, this is safe. I'm safe. I'm going to allow myself to feel things that I don't normally allow myself to feel because this guy sees all right. I mean, he looks a bit like a pirate, but he seems okay. And also, you your language coaches that in like safety options, and they'll drop into their body for the first time, but hopefully you'll down regulate them before they drop in. So even something like physiological side, because I'll give you a quick story. If you try and meditate and your nervous system is a mess, it only makes you worse. You start to hate yourself, hate your thoughts, and think, I can't even meditate. So never start med. And I know this from experience. I walked out on a passionate meditation retreat when I was 23 because I hadn't downregulated. You start with the physiological side. That's what you start with. And you cue all the things I talk about. Feel safe, just let it go, whatever. Let's make some noises. Blah, 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 blah. And then you do the CO tolerance and then you build it up, right? And for God's sake, don't take it too seriously. I think this is a mistake I made when I started out in this as well, is thinking that I should be the breathwork dude and be all like, yes, we'll breathe. Yes, I'm regulated. Yes, yes. That's not making anybody feel safer, feel better about themselves. Make a joke, show them you're human. That helps a lot more than like you walking around. I don't know if anyone's doing this, but I know plenty of people who are doing that. So be human with it and it'll take you a long way as well. Anything else for me, guys? Anyone want to say anything?
Yes, I would like to know when you're coming to London next.
I'm coming to London on the 5th. Now, my dates are terrible, but the first weekend in September for a training in Pullman Hotel, nice hotel. And then I'm doing a big session the day after. And if you do the trainings, I take the people from the trainings and they come and volunteer at the churches wherever we're running it. It might be in North Dublin Hotel because there's a big space for that. I'm gonna do an extended one. So it'll be the 15th. Excuse me, man, check on the website, but the 15th is the big event in Dublin, and the 13th and sorry, no, oh no. Justine, when are you signed up for?
15th.
15. Okay, so I think the 5th and the 6th or something like that in London. And then a breathwork event on the 7th. The following weekend is in Dublin. It's the training and then it's the breathwork event. We're going to extend the breathwork event a little bit because I want to now also teach. Before I was doing a transformational breathwork session, I had all the facilitators, but now I want to also the people to do the training. I want them to share some of this knowledge with the people who come so that they can get the experience of doing a little bit of functional explanation and see it's just really useful for people. People come for the big emotional experience, but sometimes they don't go away with like tools that they can use. And if you teach them box breathing and teach them some CO2 tolerance and explain a couple of things, I feel A, they get that emotional experience and connection, and B, they actually go, and that was useful. So the session is going to be a little bit longer in both Dublin and Ireland, probably about a 3 hour session, an hour of kind of explaining functional breathing, a little bit of that. Also nice making connection with your clients. And once you've done that, people are down regulated and they're connected more. And then you do the transformational, it's even better. Yeah. Does anyone want to share the word they thought of when they had to choose a word? Did anyone have a word they came up with?
Mine was calm.
There you go.
Yeah.
We'll take that. All right, guys. So thank you very much for coming.
Yeah.
I'll send all of that. Someone will send it within
Thank you,
24
Jen.
hours. I don't know how it works. I'm gonna get on
I don't
to
know if you can I just say something?
Yeah.
Did you hear any snoring?
Did I hear any snoring? No.
It's him.
Give him the CO2 tolerance
I
test.
think he was trying to do the breath work with us. He was so loud. I was like, started having nightmares and everything.
Well, there you go. Snoring. Oh, if you do have someone who's snoring, take them out. I swear to God, it'll work really quickly. That is amazing. Mouth taping has, I
Oh,
think,
and a dog.
No,
Your dog, let your dog, put your dog in the kennel where it's meant to be. Your dog is your dog. There ain't no fixing that, but I love him anyway. All right, guys, listen,
Yeah.
really nice to see you. I hope you got something out of that. We'll send on the
Super.
invitation.
Yeah.
I just want to say something at the end because I signed up for Dublin event as well. Me and Joanna and Aggie, who was joined for a few seconds there. So I just looking forward to meet you all and
Great.
see you in Dublin on the 15th of September. Can't wait.
Yeah. I'll be there too, so I'll see you all.
Oh, so I
Yeah.
meet you all. Lovely.
Perfect. Yeah.
Brilliant.
I'd like to bring my nephew, but I'm not really sure because well, he's kind of going through a bit of a hard time, but I don't know if it might would that be good? It would good
Take
for
him with you. Yeah.
yeah.
Probably, Karina. To be honest, I usually we have one person. I mean, look, it just works out the way it works out. It's incredible. I've run loads of these. Oftentimes, we'll have one person who's like really having a hard time, um, and you know, they're very open about. But one of the things is you're in a room with a lot of caring people who want to help. And the people who come to these things, I get look. My spider sense goes, by the way, which has really developed over time, which means I'm talking about something that's true. Like it's fucking amazing to be in a room with a lot of people who want to help. Not only want to help, but they want to explore and express, and they're excited about it, and they're intrigued. It's very
Great
combination.
into that because I know it would help them a lot.
Yeah, I would do it. I mean, look, in my London training, I had one girl vomiting in a bucket the first day, and last Dublin training, a couple of, I think, was it the first or second one? I don't know. Another girl who just ended up lying down, like after the first breathwork session, she spent all of Sunday just lying there, you know, and everyone's coming over and checking on her. But that's what she fucking needed, like, you know. She had the thing and her whole, but she finally allowed herself to drop, and everyone was like, oh, okay, you
Yeah,
know.
you have a lot of the trapped trauma and emotions and a lot from the past that's kind of now kind of been, it's all over the place with them. So it's affecting them
Well,
like,
you know, so I just say this, the
yeah,
one of the
no,
nice things about the weekend trainings is it's very much a reconstruction of social norms and values. So people come into this bubble and we're all used to carrying our fucking masks and saying this and saying that. And you know, but when you come in, it's like, hey guys, I don't want any of that now, or this is our opportunity to do this, you know? And so it's very nice because people really feel like, oh, the world can be like that. It really is like such a little bubble where people go, wow, that was really, I didn't think that would have that we'd get to know each other. I didn't think I'd let go so quick. I didn't people have trust.
the church, the last one you did in that church, I didn't make it to the one in
No, I'm talking about the trainings. In the church scenario, I just frame it, he's fine. You just frame it
yeah,
in a different
yeah,
way.
yeah.
And there's a community energy to that, which I find is beautiful as well. It really is. It's like, oh, look, everyone's here. We're all a bit fucked. Great. Thank God
Yeah.
someone did it, you know? Okay, guys, I'll
So,
leave you with that. I really enjoyed it. I hope you did.
thank
Apparently I'm seeing you loads soon enough in
Yeah.
September anyway. If you have any questions or anything, just drop me a message on Instagram or wherever. I don't know where the team runs these things anymore. And I'm gonna go talk to my advertising guy about that July 3rd thing.
yeah, you get back to him.
He's all right. He's a good guy. He's Colombian. He's a
Good.
good guy. I love him to bits, to be honest. Love you, Jose. Te amo. Te quiero mucho. Hablamos luego. Peace and love, guys. Have a lovely evening, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Okay.
See you soon.
Bye
Bye bye.
Take care. Bye bye.
James, thank you very much.
Bye.
Same, girls.
bye.